Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey everybody, what's happening? What's good with the A and B show? Brad and Sean. Brad Tesh coming to you live from Woodby Island with always Sean and down on Court. Anyway, he'll address that at some point in the future.
I'll address that at some point, yeah.
I like how it looks like I have a halo over my head. That's what I noticed last time.
I'm so holy. I'm
I
so
thought
holy.
More angelic than holy, but whatever you want to call it. All right. A new Maple Leafs jersey?
It's an old new, yeah, I got it like over a year ago now. It was presented to me.
Oh, that's the one?
Yeah.
I never saw the alumni thing on there.
Yeah. I salute, and you're supposed to sign it there.
Yeah.
Little bastard.
Yeah, so you just bought it off eBay?
No, man. I was giving it to me. What in the world?
And his eBay jersey. He bought this eBay jersey on he says that he got, but, you know, it is what it is. The green room is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are. This is Monday post-championship week for the NFL, so we are talking NFL today. We'll talk some NBA, some World Baseball Classic. And as you know, anything else that comes up, because that's just how it happens here on the A&B show, the Pacific Northwest premier sports and miscellaneous talk radio. Mm-hmm. So, Sean.
Yes, my brother.
How are you? You're very green today.
I am pretty green. Yeah, I dressed myself today. It's pretty cool. I did a good job.
Yeah.
Man.
You should get a gold star in your 4-year-old classroom.
I'm telling you.
Hey, to Sean's pre-K teacher, make sure you get him a gold star tomorrow when he shows up to class.
Man. Hey, just remember everybody, hey, like, subscribe, comment down below on our YouTube, comment on our Facebook pages, A and B, okay?
Sean needs something to respond to. Just give him something to say.
Love it. Man, oh man. Man, what a championship weekend we had. I mean, I think I saw it all this weekend.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, like, Christian McCaffrey was ready to dress up as a quarterback?
Christian McCaffrey took a couple snaps at quarterback.
I'm just like...
In the news today that Brock Purdy tore UCL, I mean, that's pretty impressive that he even was able to go back out and hand the ball off with a blown up elbow joint. But
Yeah. Man, like, I just felt so bad for the fourth string quarterback there, Johnson. Because it's like, he didn't take a snap. He didn't take one snap for practice, nothing.
Well, he probably did. They know that they're fragile at QB. And, Josh Johnson played, so.
Hey, he played.
He played before. The league for 10 years on 13 different teams.
Jeez.
He's taken some snaps.
It's just that it was sad. It was sad to see that. And I remember telling you this beforehand, is that Philadelphia has like 4 guys with double-digit sacks. And, everybody kept saying you have to put pressure on Purdy. Well, it didn't just put pressure on him. It took him right out of the game.
Brock Purdy didn't miss a throw until he got hurt. He was 4 for 4.
I know.
And then Hassan wrecked him.
And then after that, it became like, I mean, it was elementary at that point.
They couldn't do it. They were going to run every single time. There was no throws.
Like, there was nothing that...
they just stacked it up, but dared him to beat him over the top, and obviously they couldn't do it.
And then I actually thought that they were doing a pretty good job on defense. It's just that all of a sudden, these penalties, they were getting penalized so much.
They shot themselves in the foot quite a bit also.
There was a few times where they actually had him on 4th down and then gave him a first down from a penalty.
Yep.
And that's not good football. That's not good. That's
it's undisciplined.
Frustration.
Kyle Shanahan football.
That's
the unfortunate part. Now we got to listen to these Eagle fans for 2 weeks because Kyle Shanahan can't control his team.
And the thing is, I mean, like, honestly, their defense was there. I mean, to keep down a pretty high, a high octane offense, they kept them down. If they didn't get all those penalties, it probably would have been a much lower score.
Yeah, it probably should have been a 17-7 game.
Yeah, and it became worse than what it was just because of those penalties.
Yeah, I mean, the play call sheet was shrunk by 50%. You can only have runs. And then it goes, some of those guys were clearly frustrated. You saw Trent Williams get tossed out after the game was in hand. I saw a lot of dumb knucklehead stuff.
You know who I feel the worst for right now? I feel the worst for Lampton.
Yeah.
Because I know that he was Lampton is our boy. He does our hair. He's a huge Niners fan. Came with us to the game. I mean, basically he was on cloud 9, and then all this happened. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you lose a star player or you lose a key person in your personnel. It's terrible. And it would have been 2 weeks maybe then that Brock Purdy would have had a chance to get better. But
That's not the torn UCL.
yeah, he's done.
That's 6 months.
So
He'll be lucky if he gets back by training.
yeah, actually I was reading that too. I think it is 6 months. Isn't it? He's gone for a little while.
It's quite a
Yeah.
while.
So I mean, not much of a game to talk about in that NFC Championship
Yeah.
game.
Well, at least the refs were involved.
Yes, they were. They were busy.
Not like they were in the Cincinnati, Kansas City game.
Oh my.
Where they protected the quarterback maybe too much.
Way too much. Like that whole roughing the passer I thought was ridiculous because Cincinnati had them down on 4th down.
Well, I think that Cincinnati should have got at least 2 out of balance hits, and one was on Joe Burrow, the possession before.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how you give it to Patrick Mahomes there when you didn't give it to Joe Burrow minutes before. I have a really hard time with the refs in that call.
I think it's because they just wanted to see Kansas City back in there. I mean, I'm sorry. There's somebody there that's probably taking some sort of money. I mean, you know what? This is just my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion. But in my humble opinion,
The humblest of the humble.
humble opinion, okay?
Sean's a humble beast if you didn't know.
Patrick Mahomes was not at 100%. We saw that. We saw that whole entire fumble that he made.
Yeah.
He was not. But yeah, there was too many calls in order to protect him.
How about the phantom third down play that didn't count?
What was that? I mean, I know that they showed us the ref running onto the field.
Yeah. But
That
he
was the
stopped.
only
You
way.
tell me he couldn't keep going?
That was the only
Waving
way.
his hands. We've seen worse than that on the delay of game call in a game that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Just stop it with the nonsense.
Like, that was terrible. And of course, everybody thinks, oh, they're just giving Patrick Mahomes another chance to throw the ball. You know, which is true. Which is essentially true. And I believe that they got penalized, and they gave them because they had the sack, and then
Yep.
they took a PI, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which is like he didn't even get the ball out. I didn't even call it. It was a holding penalty or something
Maybe
ridiculous.
just like there was, a Joe Burrow call where they called intentional grounding, which he clearly was grounding the ball, but the running back
there
was
was
right behind
somebody
him.
right there. I know. I thought that was a ridiculous call, and you
hard.
can't tell me either way that the refs were a little bit skewed to see Kansas City go back. You know, and maybe it's because of all the hype of all the Cincinnati mayor. Everybody,
it
everybody was
wasn't
getting
a rivalry
involved
until now, because for it to be a rivalry, you have to at least one team's got to win. Both teams have to win once for it to be a rivalry, and Kansas City hadn't won yet.
Well, now it is.
Yeah,
now it
it's a
is.
rivalry.
Yeah.
We'll all be better for it.
And-
what do you think the fix is for the NFL and the umpiring? Like, what do you think the answer is?
What's the answer on that?
Yeah.
They have way too many refs. They have way too many people out there. I don't know.
Well, they're still missing calls. I mean, do you think there should be one guy like they have in college, like a sky ref, like that's kind of watching from the booth and
I mean,
can call down
that's
and veto
fine.
plays?
That's fine. Whatever you want to do that, that's fine. But the thing is that if people make mistakes, right? So if you make one missed call, well, you don't call on the other side unless it's like a totally egregious. If it's egregious, then I mean, you got to make the call.
This isn't pro wrestling.
You know, no. But in the National Hockey League, it's exactly what they do. It's like, okay, we missed that call. Well, we're not going to call that, or let the players play. You know what I mean? Let the players play.
That sounds like a song.
Let the players play, though.
Yeah.
Let them play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Kansas City game was decided by an umpire.
It kind of was at the end.
Kind of shit.
It's like it totally was not.
They weren't in field goal range,
No.
and then they added 15 yards on, and you got a 45-yard field goal. That's
But that was blatant. We saw that. That was like, okay, I see that one. That was a stupid play.
go watch it again and tell me Patrick Mahomes didn't sell that
Oh, yeah.
flying out of bounds.
Yeah.
His feet hadn't even touched out of bounds, and he was going out of bounds. I get it. By the letter of the law, that was a penalty. But 3 minutes earlier, It wasn't on Joe Burrow, who also plays quarterback.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's my irritation.
That's what I'm saying. If you're not going to call it on one, you don't call it at all.
Listen, refs, all we ask is that you be consistent. If it's consistently bad, then be consistently bad. No one cares. Just be both.
But I feel like it's not like the first time that we're talking about stuff like this in the championship games. I remember New Orleans and that whole entire PI incident there, and then they wanted to go to court over that. I mean, the refs are bad in the NFL. Like, they are bad.
They are.
Like, it's terrible. Just put the whistle away. People have paid money to see a game. Unless they're like, going at each other's throats or something stupid, put that whistle away. Is that enough to call it?
Yeah. I talked to a referee this weekend. I was down in Portland at a basketball tournament, and he was telling me he was talking to some NBA refs that had run a clinic to help those younger refs out. And they asked, how come you don't call traveling in the NBA consistently? And that guy said off the record, so this is off the record too, kids, don't tell anybody I told you this, but that the athletes today are so fast that the refs can't see both what's happening at the arm level and at the foot level.
That's ridiculous.
Right?
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Oh, have you ever watched a professional game?
I have. And you know what? They were managing to call it on Giannis that one game there where that Euro step, and that's the thing, is this whole entire Euro step that's coming to the NBA is just like, that enables traveling. That enables traveling.
Maybe.
Yeah, not
only if
maybe.
the second foot comes down.
Yeah. Like every time. It's like,
yay, someone's better.
Jeez. But now it leads you into this whole entire Super Bowl, though, because now you have two number ones going at it.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I think KC, I think they could take these Eagles. I really do. I do.
You think so? Why do you think so?
I don't know. I'm just feeling that, and I'm just going on right now. AFC. I'm on the AFC side there, But I'm going to be honest.
Because the Bills lost to the Bengals, and the Bengals lost to the Chiefs.
You got it. You're looking. Yeah, it's exactly how you're looking. You're looking at my logic on how that works. Okay. Bills lost to the Bengals. Bengals lost to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs are going to win it. Now, on paper, though, let's face it, though, Philadelphia is stacked. I mean, on both ends. On both ends. I'm saying the Chiefs, but I wouldn't be even surprised if it's a complete show of Philadelphia power at that Super Bowl,
in Arizona.
It's going to be something. And you know what? Good for Jalen Hurts. Good for that whole entire fan base in Philadelphia. I really do think they're going to end up pulling that one out. I am going to be going for the Chiefs, only because they're AFC team. That's it. But that's about as professional.
That's about as far as it's going to go.
Yeah.
I saw something earlier that said that Houston won the World Series in 2017 and 2022. And who won last year's NBA championship?
Last year's NBA championship was won by the Golden State Warriors.
And they also won it in 2017.
Yeah, they won it the year before the Raps. Yeah.
So, you know who else won the Super Bowl in 2017?
Yeah, that would be the Eagles.
Yeah. So every 5 years.
It's only with their second time doing it. Every 5 years they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Well, only when Houston wins the MLB championship and Golden State wins the NBA championship. Then if it's so that's when year,
the perfect alignment happens.
Or we're just in, some kind of simulation, and that's the code that broke it. We'll find out.
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man.
5 more years, we'll find out.
Maybe. I mean, it's funny. We had to think about Golden State there, but Golden State's on a tear right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to win their second back-to-back or their first back-to-back road game in the whole entire season. So let's see how it goes.
I mean, they're actually. I mean, I was looking at it even with Steph Curry getting thrown out of the game last minute 14 against Memphis. They still managed to pull that out. Just before overtime.
No.
Throwing his mouth guard.
How many times has Steph Curry been thrown out of?
Twice.
Nope.
Oh, there's more than twice.
Three times.
Wow.
Including the playoffs.
Wow. Okay. Well, reg season. Okay.
What are the reasons for Steph Curry being thrown out of an NBA basketball
As far as I know, throwing his mouthpiece.
All 3 times.
Yeah, as far as I know.
all 3 times.
Something.
Something.
It's.
I mean, you look at like Rasheed Wallace and Draymond Green and some of the greats that get tossed out of basketball games. They got nothing on Steph. He's reliable as it comes.
Steph's going to go down as definitely one of the greatest players to play the game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I'd say he's better than LeBron as far as just mental toughness, the whole thing, you know?
Interesting. Okay. I'll buy it.
I think so. Mentally, he's the player of the 2010s, 2020s.
He's more loyal, that's for sure.
Oh, LeBron's got to jump to a new team if he feels he's got a chance. It's like, jeez.
Forever chasing the hairline. I mean, championship.
I've been following the NBA this season, and it's had its ups and downs. But Memphis was looking pretty good. They've lost 5 straight. Yeah. Did they pick it up? Did they pick it up there?
Will they pick it up? They'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Every team goes through it. I don't know. I mean, obviously every team, because Michael Jordan played in the NBA. But
yeah.
Most teams have a lull in the middle of the year. It's hard to get motivated, especially a young team,
Well, to me, I really like that John Morant kid. I think John Morant is super talented. But let's face it, Boston, the Celtics, just like in hockey, they're a juggernaut.
Yep.
Like the Celtics. What is going on with Boston?
Can we just pick one conference at a time?
I'm just saying, what is going on with Boston? What is going on with that city that they just keep always, you think they're going to start retooling? Not with the Celtics. The Celtics
all I can think of is that since Reed just had a baby, he's been staying home more, and it's just not bleeding over.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to our boy Reed. We're going to have him on here because he brings a lot of levity to the show.
Yeah.
And we'll just hear nothing but Boston sports nonstop. Nevertheless, though, the Celtics, they are on some sort of tear.
It's interesting that they are, given all the tumultuous training camp they had, right? Firing their coach days before the season, all that kind of stuff. But the teams really rallied around each other and put it together. They are fun to watch. They
are one of the...
we can go back and forth on if the NBA is a pure basketball sport or not. I would argue it's not at this point. But it's still entertaining to watch. It's a good... entertaining form of basketball. So,
I mean, let's face it. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna watch a game. When you're watching this game, you know what you're expecting: perimeter shots, perimeter shots, perimeter shots. It seems to be that's the big thing, right? Yeah. Like you're not watching. It's not the '80s and the '90s where you're seeing the dunk show anymore.
With an occasional explosive slam, but yes,
And then what's happening with the Clippers there this year?
They just suck.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you have to, if you have 2 quote unquote superstars like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, you have to play them at the same time to get the benefit of having 2 superstars. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And we saw it last year. They tried to do some load management crap, and then they tried to run them all full speed in the playoffs, and they just didn't have the coordination or the togetherness to try to figure it out. So
I hate to say it, but the only person that seemed to have mastered load management is Nick Nurse on the Raptors. Tell me I'm wrong.
When was the last time that they made the playoffs?
Oh, that was a couple years ago.
Okay, well then let's stop with that.
What?
I read just this morning. They're about to have a fire sale in Toronto and get rid of some of their assets, and they don't even know if Nick Nurse, who was at one point a coach of the year, is going to even be back next year because his deal's expiring. They haven't even extended him yet. So,
well, that would be silly on the Raptors
maybe that's
part.
not.
If they don't,
Let's not be. I actually just saw the Raptors in Portland just a few nights ago. They played good basketball. They are a very physical team.
Yes,
that was. Very apparent.
Listen, I love Scotty Barnes, but they have a lot of heavy contracts over there with Pascal Siakam, with Fred VanVleet. And let's face it, Fred VanVleet is not Kyle Lowry. He never will be.
He's
Kyle
not even
Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
Yeah, not even Mike Lowry. That's right.
He's the Martin impersonation of Mike Lowry. That's what he is.
Gosh. And Pascal Siakam, God love him, but that's a heavy contract for somebody that he produces.
Yeah.
But to me, the untouchables,
turnovers.
Scotty Barnes, and I say Gary Trent Jr. have to be your 2 untouchables on
Gary
that
Trent
team.
Jr. I really wish they would have left him in Portland.
Yeah, he's money.
Yeah,
he's money. You don't even have Norm Powell in Portland anymore. He's like a Clipper now. It's like
Yeah, he's deteriorated. Poor Norm. I love Norm. He just does not look like himself in L.A.
Oh.
The most interesting team in the East to me right now is the Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks are interesting.
To see if they can get over the hump.
You think they're making playoffs?
I think if they make the right trade, they'll make the playoffs. And I think if they could finally put it all together, they could go far in the playoffs because they have all these really interesting pieces. I just, I think James Dolan sold his soul, and I think part of that was to be in basketball purgatory. I don't know they'll ever have a good team in there as long as he's running it, but time will tell.
Wow.
Time will tell. The East is so top-heavy. Right?
Well, yeah, you got what? You got the Hawks, you got the Celtics, the Hawks, the Bucks, and now even the Nets coming and tearing it up.
Yeah, the Nets really turning around with Kevin Durant being out. That'd be nice if they could get it together.
Yeah. It's
they won't, but, And then you got Philadelphia.
So there's like
with maybe Joel Embiid going to unseat Jokic for the MVP this year. I personally would like to see Jokic win a third year in a row. I think he's amazingly talented.
But Joel Embiid is doing something else right now.
Just a monster right now. So,
like, how many boards did he get in that game?
I don't know.
Along with his points? Yeah. It was something ridiculous. Yeah. And there's two guys.
He's a 30-20 guy any night he steps on the court, and that's impressive.
That's what he did have, actually, if I'm not mistaken. It was 30 points, 20 reaves. Yeah. And then you had James Harden with 17 points and something like 10 assists. So you had two guys getting double-doubles, And then meanwhile, on Brooklyn, right now you have Kyrie Irving. I think he's been playing lights out basketball for the Nets.
Kyrie Irving has been.
The rest of that team currently right now, though, I don't know. He's carrying them on his back, essentially, is what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, luckily for him, the world's flat, so there's not a lot of help to people up.
What do you think of a real world basketball? We have been so stuck on basketball. World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be fascinating. Good for Mike Trout to step up and say he wanted to play. Open the doors for everyone else to say yes to their respective countries. And let's really see what's what. It kind of feels like 92 in the Dream Team, right? This feels like...
bring
them out. Let's see what's up.
You would think that the U.S. would be killers, right? All the way through. But the thing is that you got Puerto Rico, you got Dominican Republic. And now Shohei Ohtani representing in Japan. You got Japan. It's like...
Yeah.
There's so many talented players.
Yeah. There's some killers.
And then... Does Vladdy Guerrero, is he going to play for Dominican or is he going to play for Canada? It's like,
Is he a Canadian citizen?
Technically, yes. He was born in Montreal. So, technically, yes. But I don't think he plays for Canada. I don't know. I don't even think Canada is in there. Yeah, Freddie Freeman. And
Freddie Freeman's Canadian?
Yeah.
I liked Freddie Freeman.
Now you can't like him anymore? Is that it? Oh my, that's sad. Oh, I can't believe you just said that.
Makes sense though. He's too clean cut.
He's too clean cut. It must be Canadian.
Yep.
Must be
Captain Canada.
Oh my gosh. But I'm gonna have to have a look at that, see if Canada's even in this World Baseball Classic.
They're probably not. Canada doesn't make anything unless it's hockey, right? You guys dominate women's hockey.
we had a representation in basketball. We had Steve Nash playing for us.
But where did you finish at?
Oh, we didn't finish anywhere there, but
did you make it out of the round robin tournament?
No, that was a little while ago. But now we have.
Are you making it out of the round robin tournament?
But now we have some killers in Canada now.
Yeah,
we got some killers in the NBA. We want to talk about. Even in baseball, we have some killers. So I don't know.
You have some in the NBA. I'll give you that. Jamal Murray for one.
Yeah, he's a killer. Yeah.
When his knee's not banged up.
Man, hockey, yeah, okay. But even in hockey, it's not a given anymore.
No.
What are you thinking though with this? What are you thinking? U.S.
The same thing I think every time there's a country sport. USA.
So your nationalism now is coming to the forefront.
Yeah. Listen, I don't believe in nationalism unless it's sports related.
There it is.
If it's sports related.
There it is. That's it.
Home team.
And then you get to wear it on your chest. Proud American.
That's right.
Oh, there you go. Man.
That's how it works.
Do you think anybody's coming out of retirement to play for the team? No. You know? That would be something. That would be something.
Maybe Ichiro.
Man,
I don't know if you've seen Ichiro lately, but
I was just gonna say he probably
Ichiro looks like he's still in game shape.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. He still looks like he could play.
He's out there every day with the fellas. He
Yeah.
still has a role with the Mariners. Just out there slanging balls and whipping bats.
All right. Quick off note here, okay? So Seattle loading up for Bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
They look good. Do you think the Yankees are going to make the playoffs again next season? Do you think they did enough to be a 95-game winning team?
What do they do?
They just signed Aaron Judge and they got Carlos Rondon. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do they do?
Exactly.
They re-signed their superstar and got an old pitcher in Justin Verlander with a bionic elbow.
Carlos Rondon. They got Carlos Rondon.
I don't think they did enough.
I don't think they did enough either. Not to be a 95-win team again, especially when you look at Rizzo's numbers going down.
No, I can't see them making an improvement.
Yeah. I still say that they're in the hunt. I don't know if they are.
Well, it's the Yankees. They're going to always be in the hunt.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Yankees weren't in the hunt? Like, you can remember.
Oh, no. They've always been like.
They're always relevant.
Like since Jeter arrived to that team.
Yeah.
They've
always been relevant.
You know, like there was the early 90s when the Jays were doing it. The Yankees really weren't all put together. But it was around mid to late 90s when we started.
When did Mattingly retire from?
Mattingly retired.
89, 90?
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I think you had your...
So like gap between 91 and 97.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's when the Yankees really weren't. But that's a short sample
6 years and 100.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have a look at teams like Atlanta who seem to, make the World Series and everything like that. How many times? It was something ridiculous. I remember seeing.
Well, they both those things have two things in common.
What's that?
Good weather where they live, and
New York doesn't have good weather.
Owners in the fall, the summer and fall for baseball. Yeah,
it's no different than Toronto. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but Toronto plays in a dome because they're a bunch of wusses.
Oh my goodness!
Play outside like a grown up.
Wow!
That's what This is an early spoiler, but that's what I wanted to ask you in our one-on-one question: is how many years are we going to suffer before we just ban dome teams? Just ban domes altogether.
What, in every sport?
Well, I mean, not basketball, obviously, but yeah. Football and baseball.
Football and baseball. It'll never happen in football.
No more
Never
domes.
happen in football.
It should, though.
Never.
It should.
Yeah, but then you know what? You know
should.
you're going to be able to play your game. You don't have to worry about lightning striking the ground. It's like, I don't know.
It was where a lightning strike in the ground in a football game. When has that ever been a set off? It's always been snow. They get a way to
What
figure
are
it
you
out.
talking about? In Seattle, that happens quite a bit. Well, we got
No.
a little bit of a delay.
No.
Lightning's around.
Never happened.
Lightning's
It
around.
Never happened.
Yes. Oh, we have an electrical storm. Oh,
That's in Tampa. That's not in Seattle. We don't have that mess here.
whoa. We got an electrical storm again. Oh my gosh. Come on. It's never going away. Come on now.
But it should.
That's your opinion.
It should.
That's your opinion.
It's because your team plays in domes.
Oh my gosh. It's a silly opinion, but that's yours.
And it's still not the silliest opinion we've had today.
All right, man. Hey, I want to talk some NHL. Now, almost 2 weeks ago Tuesday, when Ivan Provorov from the Philadelphia Flyers did not want to wear the rainbow jersey at practice and tape his stick, the rainbow colors, for the LBTGQ night that they were having. He put out a statement. I mean, it was his beliefs, right? And the thing is that, like, I'm of the mind, if you're pushing something, right? This is what you're saying, that you're looking for inclusivity, and you're going against what the NHL is trying to push, well, then maybe you don't get to play. It's not the first time that we've seen this in sport, We saw Muhammad Ali, when he was drafted, said, no, I'm not going for the draft. And he had to pay consequences for it. He had to be stripped of the title. He had to go to jail. I mean, there was all those consequences for him. So things like that, I think that consequences should be paid if that's what's supposed to happen. Okay? The NHL maybe should have been much more clear about that. Maybe the Flyers saying, okay, well, I don't think you play tonight. I don't know how it works with the NHLPA. If you can say you don't get paid even, you know what I mean? Because I don't think that that's going to be a thing. But if this is something that you're pushing, and especially it's something that you believe in, then that's something that you say you can't play that night. End of story, right? But they let him play. They just didn't let him practice. They let him play. Philadelphia, right? I mean, I don't get it. But then the fallout, and this is the thing, is that the fallout, you have to expect fallout. People are
in this day and age,
absolutely, people are going to say things. But if you're talking about inclusivity, and you're trying to make your point about it, then make your point that he shouldn't have played. I don't think that he's sending the right message. I don't think that this is this. But I heard two people that decided to get really personal with it. Really personal. And they attacked his ethnicity, and they attacked his religion. And E.J. Radick was out there saying he should go back to Russia and fight against the Ukrainians.
Who's E.J. Radick?
E.J. Radick is a analyst on one of these NHL shows, okay? He's been in the game a long time, and that's what he said. No room for that. Why would you even say that? You have so many other things to say.
Yeah.
But that's not even the worst thing that I heard being said of this whole entire thing. The worst thing I heard was out of Sid Sixero's mouth. And Sid Sixero, who I actually like when I hear him go on his rants, but this time it was wrong. He was so much he had so many things to talk about. Maybe, his whole entire thing about the NHL fining the Philadelphia Flyers $1 million. Fine. I would have been fine with that. But when you start going into he's hiding behind his Christian faith, and there are people out there that are doing things that will make you throw up. Okay.
In what context?
About Christians. There's people there.
There's Christians that are making
that will make you throw up in your mouth. And it's like, to me, I understand where he was trying to go with this, because basically he's looking at televangelists, he's looking at like Jerry Falwell, but
you say that if you have to defend your belief system by throwing shade or talking shit about someone else's belief system or ethnicity or whatever, you're already insecure. Like, your argument's not even valid at that point. If it's like, oh, well, blah. Like,
especially when you're preaching inclusivity. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I think that there's a balance to be played between shut up and dribble and that you should still have a platform. Mm-hmm. And we've covered it a couple times on this show.
And you know what? He believes that. That's fine.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Then you pay the price for that, though. That you don't get to play.
Take a sick day.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
Exactly.
Say what you want to say. That's cool. But if your boss, the person that writes, the thing that kills me about it is to say, damn the person that is paying me to do this. I feel this way. Then don't take the money. Then don't do it. Go play somewhere else. That's really what it boils down to for me. Cool, like if you have a problem with what your employer is doing, then don't take their money. And that stands up across the board everywhere else. Stop with this whole, well, I don't think we should. Okay, well, your boss does. So either you do it or you don't. But stop being a hypocrite and taking their money and then fighting against it. Say your thing, but still go along. That's the dumbest thing. What if you like the sponsor that's on the arena? What if you don't like whatever?
Yeah. I'm just saying that you don't play. You don't play that game. That's that. You don't get to play that game. And then after that, the NHL can sort it out.
Yeah.
The NHL could sort it out, but to attack a man though at his fundamental,
I can't believe they would excuse him from practice and then still let him play.
That's something on the Philadelphia Flyers organization. That's something else altogether. But I just thought it was important enough to say Ivan Provorov is probably one of their best defensemen on that team.
Oh, so you'd have lost if he hadn't played, probably. That's where
is that what it comes down to, though, at the end of the day, right? I mean, obviously, wins and losses.
I mean, that's an organizational decision.
It's what it is, right?
It's an organizational
but the thing
decision.
is like, okay, if you're trying to build this, then maybe you take the loss on that. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's so nuanced, right? I mean, in that case, it all comes down to what the owner really felt about that stance.
You know, though, you got to expect the consequences, and but at the same hand, be responsible with your remarks. That's my only thing.
What Sean's trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is words matter.
Yes.
And approach it as such.
Yes.
Be the light. Salt the seasoning of the dish. Be a joy to be around. Stop being a dick. Sorry, Mom.
Now, let's get back to some real talk about hockey here, though. I mean, that was real talk, but I just want to talk about it now. So, like NHL, the fundamental level right now. I want to talk about Seattle Kraken.
And what would you like to talk about the Kraken?
I want to talk about Kraken's supposed rivalry against the Vancouver Canucks. Is this even a rivalry anymore? I saw that game.
Well,
it was 6-1 for the Kraken.
It was the first game that the Kraken had won. So if we go back to the earlier part of the show where I said it couldn't be a rivalry till both teams had won, now it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
That game they took him on the woodshed and just let him have it. So
it was a spanking.
Yeah.
And then they're winning some games right now. They had a couple of losses after that 7-game win streak, and that's fine. I mean, that's just the way it is. But the thing is that they're playing really good hockey.
Yes, the ebb and flow of a season. Yeah, we'll see what happens with old Matty, and hopefully he gets healthy. He's gonna miss the All-Star break because of that hit that he took from Vancouver.
It's funny, yeah. He's
missed a couple games. He's gonna miss the All-Star game. That's okay.
Austin Matthews is gone as well for the All-Star game.
Is he getting hair plugs?
Yeah, that's it. He's getting he's injured for 3 weeks, so he's gonna miss
that's a long recovery for those hair plugs.
It's hard, yeah. And right now, I mean, it's going to be a great race up until the end of April to watch this.
The NHL's a lot like a NASCAR race. The first half, 3/4 of the race, everyone's just kind of driving in a circle, and then the last 25 laps they really start driving. So,
man, I don't know, because it just seems like Seattle's had the pedal to the metal. It feels like they don't know
how to do it. Second year in, they haven't quite figured it out yet. But.
And I think it'd be great if they could win a playoff series here. I really expect them fully to win a playoff series, all depending on who they end up drawing, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
On any given night, those boys can skate with the best of them.
Well, that's the thing, is that you have to look at it. If they have to score goals, they can score goals. If they have to shut down, they can shut down.
As long as Grubauer stays on net, yes.
Yeah. They play really to their opponents' weaknesses. Really, is what I find that they do. And that is how you win hockey games. They're well coached.
Yep.
The line makeups are all great on there. Yep. The fact that you have to move down your number 1 draft pick and let them season is like. That's fantastic. You have a future that's about to come up. Now, I heard some stupidity coming out here, though. It's like, and you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to take that back. Not stupidity. Maybe ignorance. Ignorance in the NHL as far as, well, are we going to trade our number 1 guy? Are we going to trade Shane Wright because we have no room for him? He's 18 years old. Yeah. You don't trade him.
That's just an uninformed fan base is what that boils down to.
Don't trade him. That's somebody you do not. That's somebody that is your future, and you have a bright future. It's a good
Matty
team.
Beaners is just right in front of him, and those two could be on the ice for the next 10 years. Why would you trade that off?
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Dumb.
Man.
Sorry to our friends north of the border, but That Canucks spanking was well deserved. So stop DMing me.
Man, oh man, we have an interesting game coming up in a couple of weeks there that we're going to be going to.
Yep.
Yeah. That's going to be a nice one.
Yep.
Kraken versus the Leafs. I still don't know which jersey I'm going to pull out.
I got nothing. Folks, I saw Sean the day the Bengals beat the Bills, and he already had a Bengals jersey on. Already. It had been 2 hours.
I was wondering when you were going to call me out on that, man.
2 hours.
I was wondering when you were going to call me out on that.
I can tell you this right now. Sean is not going to be wearing both teams' gear in that arena. I won't stand for it. I won't drive him down there. I won't give him a ticket. I just won't. If that guy shows up in a Kraken beanie or a toque or whatever he calls it, and a Maple Leafs jersey and his little gloves, side of I-5.
That's right. You remember the gloves?
Side of I-5, kids.
It sound right, boys.
We don't play it. Pick a team. You can have multiple teams, I don't care, but you can't wear the same sport, just different teams at the same time. Like, that's not going to fly. This does not. It does not cut it.
Love it. Man, hey, I ran out of jerseys to wear for the Super Bowl there. I don't have any more, so.
Yet. They don't make Pat Mahomes' jersey in fun size, apparently, so. Get him an offensive lineman one. They probably have those in stock.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We have a one-on-one question.
I already gave you mine.
You gave me? All right.
Yep.
All right. So, coming down to it. Ice cream with toppings. Would you consider that a soup?
Delicious soup with the soup, I'll tell you that. I mean, I think you'd have to let it melt too much for it to become soup.
Yeah.
So I would say no.
But then how can you
have frozen soup?
Yeah, there's cold soup. I don't know about frozen
frozen,
soup.
I mean, like,
I don't know about frozen
the
soup.
creamy, scrape off the layers goodness.
Would you want that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
That pot scum? The pot scum that you have when stuff gets cold?
Nope.
You put that in your mouth?
Nope.
I did that once
Ice
when I
cream's
was a
on
kid.
I believe it.
It's terrible.
I believe it. You could have told me that last week, I would have believed it. Ice cream's not a soup. We don't play that game here, kids. Till next time. Remember, be good or be good at it.
Righto.